Here we are with Klara and Katelyn on our Facebook Live, high fiber cooking for Thanksgiving, and here's a sneak preview of some of the activity that you will see going on in this kitchen today in our cooking demonstration with Katelyn. Yay, Katelyn! And Klara.
Yay!
All right, we are going to be starting in just a second. So I'm going to come out to the cooking area. You can see they're scrambling at the last minute to get all the food out. They don't know I'm watching them. Here we go. All right, coming out.
But this girl who's doing today, her name is Jen Mullen. And what Jen does is different. Everybody brings a different flavor, a different thing to this practice. Everybody does, and they have their own unique way. Even though that she does what she calls the sound booth. So while you were sitting here, she does while you were cleaning it, she does a sound bowl to put you into a relaxed mode. But it's really beautiful. Really beautiful.
I just finished making this, and I just found out from my daughter-in-law, you know, your generation knows this, that you can buy it pre-cut.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
that is what we did today.
I did it the hard way.
It is. It is.
I did it the hard way.
All right, well, good morning. And here we have a newcomer,
Yes,
so welcome.
yes.
My name is Klara. I am a dietitian at Rebecca Visser & Associates, and this is Katelyn. She is also one of our dietitians. And welcome to our monthly cooking series.
Thank
you. Today we are talking Thanksgiving and fiber and veggies, because there's always lots of great goodies on the Thanksgiving table, but how can we incorporate some more vegetables while still getting to enjoy some of the delicious things that we like to eat? So let's get started then with our butternut squash.
Yeah, so our first recipe is mashed cinnamon butternut squash. So kind of like, almost like mashed sweet potatoes, but just kind of incorporating a different flavor.
Yep, absolutely. And we're roasting these in the oven, and then we'll be demonstrating how to finish them up in the food processor. All right.
Yeah. What's the benefit of like a mashed vegetable?
Well, so it's really beneficial if you are having issues with swallowing, or you really maybe don't have as much of an appetite, but you want to eat a little bit something a little bit nourishing. I find that with some of my patients, it really is helpful to eat more things that are a little bit mashed or that are an easier consistency to swallow. All right, so we are keeping it easy today with a pre-cut butternut squash, but
Otherwise, make sure your knife is nice and sharp.
and that you have a skid-proof area to cut. Otherwise, that will go flying, and it could be dangerous. It could be dangerous. Okay.
You can also get it frozen.
You can also get it
cubed
frozen.
up.
Yep. So, all right. So we have our butternut squash. Katelyn, can you drizzle some olive oil in this?
Yeah, just the olive oil.
Yep. All right. So we're just gonna keep this real simple. Drizzle. I think actually all the spices are over with you, so I'm gonna make you do all the work.
Okay. So in order for like the more flavor to impart into a food, we season as we go. We're going to season it once it's roasted in the food processor, but we want to season before we even roast it so that it kind of sucks in those flavors.
Get some of that going. Yeah. So we're going to put a little bit of cinnamon as well, and the spices that we're using today are the warm fall spices. So the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the ginger. So before roasting, we're going to be using the cinnamon and the ginger, and then afterward we're going to add some nutmeg. But both the cinnamon and the ginger can be have very anti-inflammatory properties. So trying to incorporate some of that.
You didn't give me a spoon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, we'll just use one of these forks. So, and then we're also going to sprinkle a little bit of sea salt on here. If you are watching your salt intake for heart health reasons, you can absolutely omit that. We're just tossing that up. All right. All right, so that's tossed.
It's so much faster this way.
And then what we would do, and I'm going to do some little TV show cooking magic. It's like that.
Just like a great show.
I have cooked in a Food Network set. I know.
wanted to have this specific food demo is that Thanksgiving tables are typically very heavy in the starches. And even, we tend to make the vegetables a little bit on the less healthy side when they're really cream and casserole based. So trying to get back to more natural and fresh ingredients.
Absolutely. And this is a great way to just incorporate some new traditions. One of my family traditions is to keep our family traditions, but then try something, maybe one new dish every year to kind of mix it up. So all we did was we dumped the butternut squash onto this sheet pan and we roasted it in the oven at 400 for about 30-35 minutes. If your chunks are bigger, like some of these are, it might take a little bit longer.
Just get some nice caramelization.
Right. There we go. Cool.
Could that be boiled as well?
It could be boiled. You wouldn't want to season it
Right.
the same way that we did, but you could boil it and then just season it at the end with, again, some of the ginger and the cinnamon. You might not get some of that rich, like caramelized flavor that you get with when you roast it. But if that's an option and that makes it easier if you're trying to save on oven space,
You could steam it in the microwave as well.
You
a little
can.
bit of water in a microwave bowl. And
I think when you roast vegetables, though, they seem to be more intense flavor.
yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Is there anything else going on?
Oh yes, we're gonna put a little bit of nutmeg, just a dash, a little bit, and then we're gonna add a little bit of sweetness with some pure maple syrup.
How long did you roast the squash? I missed that.
For about 25, 30, 35 minutes, depending on the size of your chunks. We're gonna add a little bit of fresh lemon juice for just some freshness and catching the seeds so that we don't get any added in that, because that would not be very appetizing.
Speaking to some of our favorite gadgets that we like to use, do you all have a citrus squeezer? Do you have one of those at home?
No, what's
I
that?
have the
It's
zester.
basically, you put the half of a lemon in it and you just close it up and it squeezes out, catches the seeds, so you're not
It's one of my favorite kitchen gadgets.
digging
actually.
seeds out of the food. It's a
I have
great
the
gadget.
old-fashioned glass one that you get.
Okay, yep, yep.
We're just gonna try this and make sure that it's well seasoned.
Oh, you're telling me.
I'm telling you. Yeah. All right, you guys ready to taste this?
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. It's a good way to get kids also to eat vegetables, and they don't know they're eating vegetables.
So this is the vegetable, not, I made the soup.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So you just stopped at the vegetable, that's great.
Yeah. I've also added mashed butternut squash into mac and cheese just to kind of hide some vegetables in there.
Or there's also a great website on a great recipe on our website that has butternut squash in a pasta, in a manicotti pasta.
Oh, yeah, that was mine.
Yes, that is yours.
Delicious.
Do you want some of that?
Sure, I love some.
Over here.
This is excellent.
There you go, ladies. Thoughts?
Oh, that's
Excellent. I like it as a vegetable. I've always just made the soup.
Same flavors,
Yeah.
but just
Kara, what would be also nice in here, wouldn't it, if along with your roasting your squash, roasting an apple with it and having that in there
Definitely.
to give it a teeny bit of sweet as
yeah,
well.
you could do that instead of or in place of some of the maple syrup.
Yep.
With some other natural
Actually, that's
sweetness.
in my recipe, the apple, and
The
you
apple.
just put it in the oven
And that's
with
a
onion.
great way
Onion,
to
yeah.
use also the some of the natural, like in season sweetness that you're finding in the apples now because they are in season.
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely.
I like it as a vegetable.
Yes.
It's a very good vegetable.
All right. So I'm just gonna move this down.
All right, we're gonna switch gears over.
So our next recipe is a play on green bean fresher, roasted veggies with a crunchy topping.
Yeah, and this one's because we are going to be roasting them with the crunchy topping, has some nuts in them. It's really going to be high in fiber. So if you are having any side effects such as constipation and you need to increase your fiber intake, this is a great way to do that. It's also a great way if you're having any heart issues like high cholesterol that you want to try and manage. Increasing the fiber can be really helpful as well.
Definitely.
All right, so
So you want to get started on the green beans?
yeah, sure.
I will.
Do that. All right, so this is really simple. So we just took green beans. All right. Do that, and then I sliced some the mini cremini, so the little the baby bella mushrooms. You could certainly use the big ones if you like. I use the little ones. Those for tonight. You need a bigger bowl. Okay. And then we are going to be using just some sliced onion and some chopped up parsley. Oh, I'm gonna make a mess. Okay, that's fine. All right. So what we need to do then is add some. Can you put some olive oil on there for me, Katelyn?
I'm really a big fan of roasting any vegetable.
Agreed.
I think they all just get such a nice flavor when you roast them rather than steaming or boiling or anything like that.
And something that has worked when you're short on time or low on energy is roasting different. You can roast similar vegetables on the same sheet pan and just season them up differently. So if you have, you want some Asian-y, like roasted broccoli, that can be on one section, and then maybe you could do cauliflower that has turmeric on it on a different, so you're using kind of similar, you know.
You can use foil and kind of create like a little divider by pinching it up.
Yep. Okay, so we're using freeze-dried garlic today for simplicity's sake. I mean, all it is really just garlic. If you wanted to rehydrate it, you could just use a little bit of water. And Katelyn and I both really like the cubed frozen garlic as well.
Cubed frozen, where do you find that?
Trader Joe's I know has it, but the brand is called Dorot, D-O-R-O-T. I've also seen it at I think Walmart.
I've seen it at Walmart. I've seen it
So
at
it's in the
Shoppers.
freezer section.
Yep, so it's like a little ice cube tray, and they do garlic, ginger,
Basil.
cilantro, basil.
Really?
I've seen them
Awesome.
at Shoppers. They have them in the like kosher food section. At least in my Shoppers, they have like a little bit of a separated frozen section for kosher foods. So that's where they have it there. I have not seen it at Giant, but I have seen it at Walmart.
So you would have then what would you do here with that product? You would have
You just pop.
one it on there.
One is like a clove of garlic, one cube.
All right, let me go
And
grab
then
it.
do you chop it up and put it into this? Or you just
No, just kind of as you're mixing it, it'll kind of defrost,
defrost
and then just mix in with it.
So it's frozen, so that means, what do you think about the crushed, the minced garlic?
Definitely. I think they're all viable options. Or you could do fresh if you have the time and don't mind garlicky smelling hands. I like the little garlic press, so you don't really have to mince it yourself.
All right, so all we would do here is mix it up. We would also add a little bit of lemon juice with this for the freshness, and you could also add some salt as well. Again, if you are watching your sodium, you don't have to add it. So what you do is you spread it on a baking sheet. Cooking show magic. And again, we roasted it about 400
So you
degrees.
just threw all of that on a baking sheet?
Roasted about 400 degrees.
So it's nice and soft, and things start getting a little crispy.
And then, so we have the green bean part of it.
Yes.
So let's talk the topping.
Okay.
Might be the best part.
So what I did was I took a big handful of parsley and about half a cup of almonds. I've used the blanched slivered almonds before. We use the sliced roasted almonds today. It doesn't really matter either one, but in the food processor so it's nice and fine. And then you're going to add half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. I would really go with panko rather than traditional. They're much crispier.
Are these gluten-free, the panko?
They are not.
Those
They
are
can
not.
be though.
Yes.
So they make a gluten-free
They do make a
panko.
gluten-free panko.
I think it's there's a popular brand INS that's the gluten-free one.
Okay.
Mango.
Yeah.
And you get that at Whole Foods.
I would
Okay,
I would just test it. I know that one of our other dietitians, one of her patients used gluten-free to make one of our recipes, and it was great it was great out of the oven, but it didn't reheat as well. So if you're, I would just try it out before.
Okay. Other favorite gadget is a microplane.
Best favorite.
Gotta have that. So I'm adding some lemon zest. And this you can use for Parmesan cheese. You can grate some fresh nutmeg on your mashed butternut squash.
Ginger, even garlic. If you didn't want to chop your garlic by hand, you could just take a clove and mince it in. That would certainly do the trick. It makes things so much easier.
Add a teaspoon or like half of a lemon. Get it in there. And then some olive oil. And that's gonna help it crisp up nice and good in the oven. So just mixed it up. And then I tested it when I made it earlier, and it needed some salt, so I did add a little bit of salt.
And you're using fresh parsley today, or which food are
Yeah,
you
it was
using?
fresh
You did
parsley.
parsley.
Yeah. Try to go fresh as often as I can, just because I like the flavor. And then it's spread on the baking sheet. Nice thin layer, and you really gotta watch it because it will crisp up really fast, and you don't want to have burned topping. And then there you go, crispy on the topping. Magic.
For us?
I'll sprinkle some on it.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is, so you can either, if you're serving this in a big container, you can, or put it in a big bowl and then sprinkle it on
You can
top.
put it into a casserole dish and then sprinkle it and then stick it back in the oven if you have the oven space, just to keep it nicely before you serve it.
Or you could serve it and pass the topping around.
Yes. Yep. You could do either.
It's such a nice alternative to the green beans with the kettle soup, mushroom soup on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a,
But again, it just gives it a little bit more freshness to kind of balance
Yeah.
out the plate with some of our, other Thanksgiving favorites, which are absolutely fine. But if you would like to, keep some.
A roasted vegetable and a green salad is a staple on my Thanksgiving dinner table.
Yeah, mine too.
I kind of insist on a little bit of green vegetable.
I do. We usually have, my dad loves vegetables, so we're usually like 2 roasted vegetable dishes, a green salad, and then like we cook way too much, but that's just
Oh, this looks yummy.
she's got it.
I like to experiment with roasted vegetables. I think my favorite is broccolini though. Have you ever tried that roasted?
I have roasted
It's so
broccolini is very good.
And what do you do with that? Just put olive
Toss some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and I love how the bushy little end gets real nice and crispy.
Yes.
That's my favorite part.
It's really, really
Talk
good.
about
And you put the same kind of a topping on it.
definitely,
Mm.
definitely.
Mhm.
long did you
say in the oven?
25, 30 minutes
30
ish.
minutes, yeah, and it's a hot oven, like 400, 425 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, say like with that topping, is that something that, how you just did that on the side, is that something that you could make and just store for a while?
That's a good question. I don't know how well it would stay
It's a nice
crispy.
topping that could go on a
Yeah,
lot.
you might be in a
Well,
little
that-
mason jar.
that-
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is really delicious. I could see that, I could actually see it on the potatoes as well.
I was thinking the same thing.
Definitely.
Or mac and cheese too.
Oh, okay.
With your butternut
Wait,
squash
maybe
filling.
you could go in and do some of that.
Yeah, with the butternut squash filling, so get some more veggies. Sprinkle this on top.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Squeeze some more.
Another
veggies in
like alternative would be some Parmesan cheese while you're roasting the vegetables if you want to go without the nuts,
That
but
is so good.
this is going to give you a little bit more fiber.
Yep, those nuts are definitely going to be a good source of fiber and a good source of heart healthy fats. So, especially in the green bean casserole remake that we did today, we have decreased the amount of saturated fat significantly because we're not using the cream of mushroom soup and some of those. We're really using olive oil
Nuts.
and nuts. So it's a
Take a lot
really,
of
really heart healthy alternative.
And lower in calories as well to balance out all of the tasty.
Definitely.
That's
I
what
love
made.
also how you did with the pre-cut and the pre-packaged stuff, so it's really not labor intensive. You know, for people doing this, it is really quite simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping it simple, especially on Thanksgiving where you're trying to get like 45 dishes on the table, you know, taking some.
How much do you cook?
I don't know. Kate told me that they have like 60 people at her Thanksgiving.
Oh my
so
goodness.
45, is that a decent estimate of maybe how much you're cooking on
Oh,
Thanksgiving?
we do a lot.
Yeah, so maybe, you know. So, we don't do 45. That would be too much for my family. We'd be eating Thanksgiving for a month. But really, taking some of those quick shortcuts, like the pre-washed and trimmed green beans and the pre-cut butternut squash. Even we didn't use them today, but they do have pre-cut mushrooms as well.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, if you were using almost all pre-cut things, the only thing you'd have to slice is the onion, and they might even sell that. I know they sell diced onion. I'm not sure if they sell sliced, but so it could be really easy for them together.
Definitely.
Delicious.
That is
really,
delicious.
I couldn't imagine roasted
Delicious.
green beans.
I roast almost every vegetable.
I do too.
I'll put anything in the oven
I
because you
do.
just forget it.
It makes meal prep really easy. It makes dinner really easy. It's very not as, especially again, if you're doing broccoli, get the pre-cut broccoli, put it on a sheet pan, olive oil, salt, pepper in the oven within 5 minutes, and then you can take some time to sit and rest or do
You put it
some
on
other.
like 400?
Say 400, yeah.
Well, I never liked sweet potatoes until I started making sweet potato fries, which aren't fries, but you put them in the oven.
Right.
And they were a real hit with grandkids.
Definitely.
Because they're so nice and sweet.
So good, yeah.
They're delicious.
A little bit like the squash taste.
Yeah.
You know,
Very similar.
So if they like sweet potato, they might like that because it's just a different type of vegetable. And it's exploded into a little bit more.
very similar.
A little bit of a quicker demo today.
Yeah.
Because we got everything pre-cut.
Yep. Made it easy. But it shows that there's no shame in doing that because it makes mealtime easy. And that's
Well, with
the end.
And
women
delicious.
working
And
today, you
delicious.
need to find ways to make it work because otherwise you're eating out all the time.
Right, and one of our dietitians that we work with, Dana, says, you know, it is a little bit more expensive, but if that makes it that you're more likely to cook dinner or you're more likely to have, you know, veggies as part of your snack or whatever it is, there's no shame in getting it pre-cut because it makes it that much simpler.
And yeah, it's probably be cheaper than
Eating
out
out.
anyway.
And
Exactly.
healthier.
Exactly.
And you were saying that the cinnamon and the ginger is anti-inflammatory, so all those spices. And you mentioned turmeric, which is it seems a buzzword in the last year or two, or maybe longer.
Yeah.
But that's a big one.
Yeah, that is definitely a big one. Garlic, which is in the green beans, that is going to have some anti-inflammatory because of the garlic as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, we didn't use any turmeric today, but that's definitely been on the rise recently.
I was thinking it's all
I take a supplement.
you do.
I can get it in and
All right, well, and so we will see you guys next month. I believe we are also on the 5th. I don't have my phone on me, but it's
December 15th. I
December
believe.
15th. Yep.
okay.
And we are going to be talking Thanksgiving, and we're going to be talking about Christmas. We'll be talking about
We can still talk about it.
Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday, so we will talk about Thanksgiving.
how we did on
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, exactly.
We're on December 13th.
Of 13.
December
At
13th.
2.
Yeah, at
Okay.
2 o'clock on the 13th.
Okay.
And we will be here talking Christmas and some ideas for your Christmas table.
Wonderful.
Okay?
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
That was
you, guys.
wonderful.
I know I'm shaking next week.
This is gonna be on the menu.
So reach out to us if you'd like a recipe. Thanks for watching.
Yep. The green beans are on our website actually.
They are.
I made them last year for
The green beans are on our website.
Yeah.
And how about the squash?
It will be soon.
It will be.
Okay, stay tuned. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clara and Katelyn.